Here is some marking information to work out your final grade in this exam. So the first thing we've got to do is work out your grade for each of the 3 questions. So you've got question 1, question 2, question 3. You will have been marking each part answer that you have done with either a U, an R or a T. So if I take question 1 for example, here is what the marking grid that we work out with. So if you take all of question 1, add up all the U's that you have. If you just had one single U, then that would give you an N1. If you had 2 U's, then that would get you an N2. If you had 3 U's, that would get you A3. 4 U's would get you A4. Okay, so that's just looking at how many U's you've got. If you don't have any U's, so you've got no marks, no U's, no R's, no T's, then that would give you an N0 as your grade for that question. If I start from the other end, what we do is something called top-down marking, and so we look first of all to see, have you got any T's in question 1? So within question 1, if you had 2 T's, then that would give you an E8 for that question. If you had 1 T, that would give you an E7. Now if you don't have any T's, we then look for, have you got any R's? If you had 3 R's, then that would give you M6. If you had 2 R's, that would give you M5. So we look across, first of all, have you got any T's? If so, have you got 1 or 2? If you don't, then we say, have you got any R's? How many of those have you got? If you haven't got R's, have you got a U's? And note that if you just had one single R, then that would count as a U if we didn't have anything else, because you needed 2 U's to get to M5. So for each question 1, question 2, question 3, you give yourself a grade of N0 through to E8. Then what you do is you take those results to work out your overall grade. And what we get now is we get a table of cut scores. So say I had in question 1, I had A3. Question 2, I had A3. Question 3, I had A3. Then those 3 marks that I get, the A3, so 3 marks, then I would do question 1, 3, plus question 2, another 3, plus question 3, another 3. That would give me 9 marks altogether. Then I look down at these values across the bottom here, and 9 is in the range of 8 to 12, so that would give me an achieved for the whole paper. So in order to get to a merit overall, you need at least 13 marks. So for example, if you got M5 in question 1, that would give you 5 marks. If you got M5 in question 2, that would be another 5 marks, so now you're up to 10 marks. Then you need to get to 13, so that means in question 3 you could get an A3 or above, and that would get you a merit overall. Equally, to get to an excellence, you need to get at least 19 marks. So let's think how you could get to 19. Well, if you got an E8 in question 1, there's 8 marks, plus another E8 in question 2, that would give you 16 marks altogether, and you need to get up to 19, so then if you got a 3 or more in question 3, that would get you to 19. Okay, now these are just some examples, they're not the only way. So for example, to get to an excellence overall, that 19, I could also get E7 in question 1. I get another E7 in question 2, that would give me 14 points. Then I would need to get an M5 in question 3 to get up to the 19. So there's quite a few different combinations that you could get, but the key thing is that you need to get between these ranges, and those are the ranges that change in every exam, plus also N1 being 1U, N2 being 2U, etc. How many U's, R's and T's are required, that may change. So if the exam paper is particularly hard, then they may make that an M5 you only need to get 1 R, and M6 would be 2 R's. So the examiner can change these values each year, and so that's why you need to look at each year to see what the marking schedule was for each question, and what the cut score is overall.